The Friday morning hum at Chicago O'Hare International Airport was a symphony of clinking suitcases, garbled announcements, and restless sighs. Amid the bustle, Eleanor Harris stood poised, a sharp-eyed black woman in her early 70s. Eleanor wasn't one to be shaken. She clutched her boarding pass, the paper pristine despite the terminal's chill. Beside her, her husband of nearly 5 decades, James Harris, adjusted his tie, his gray hair glinting under the fluorescent lights. Their well-worn coats belied a quiet authority. They approached the gate marked First Class, Gate 15. A stream of polished passengers moved forward, but as Eleanor stepped up, a voice cut through the chatter. "Economy's that way," snapped the flight attendant, a white woman with a tight bun and a condescending tone. Her name tag read Karen Mitchell. "Keep moving." Eleanor blinked. "Excuse me, you don't belong here," Karen said, her smile sharp. She glanced at Eleanor's coat, then James's scuffed shoes. "These must be fake," she said, snatching their boarding passes. "Nice try." Eleanor didn't waver. She watched Karen toss the tickets onto the counter like garbage. Nearby, a man in a gray suit snickered, muttering, "They're delusional." James's jaw tightened. "We're supposed to be here," he said evenly. Karen rolled her eyes. "I know a scam when I see one." "Call your supervisor," Eleanor said, her voice calm but unyielding. "No need," Karen smirked, grabbing her radio. "Security to Gate 15, we've got a problem." A young gate agent, visibly uneasy, mumbled, "They're on the list." Karen dismissed him with a wave. Soon, 2 security officers approached. They weren't hostile, but their presence drew eyes. Passengers paused, phones emerged, and a teenage boy started filming. Karen pointed dramatically. "They tried to sneak into first class with fake tickets. Remove them." One guard hesitated, picking up the boarding passes. His brows furrowed. "Eleanor and James Harris, VIP access." "Let me see that," Karen snapped, yanking the passes back. Eleanor's breath caught not from fear, but from a lifetime of judgment, subtle slights, and dismissals. She stood taller. "You're making a mistake." Karen leaned in, her voice a venomous whisper. "Enjoy economy, that's where you belong." The air crackled with tension until a man in a black blazer pushed through. "Mark Thompson, gate supervisor," he announced. "What's going on?" Karen thrust the tickets at him. "These 2 tried to fake their way into first class." Mark glanced at the passes and froze. His face paled. "You're on the list," he stammered. "First class, priority." "I'm so sorry, Mrs. Harris, Mr. Harris." Eleanor's expression remained steady, though her lips curved slightly. She took James's arm. Karen's face reddened. "That can't be right." "Enough," Mark said sharply. "They board now." The guard stepped back. Karen's mouth gaped as Eleanor and James walked past, their steps deliberate. The filming teenager watched, his smirk fading. The couple settled into seats 2A and 2B, the leather cool and plush. Eleanor exhaled, the terminal's din fading. But the respite was brief. Minutes after takeoff, Karen reappeared, coffee in hand. She stumbled, perhaps deliberately, and scalding liquid splashed onto Eleanor's lap. "Oh no!" Karen gasped, her tone mocking. "Guess I'm clumsy today." A few passengers chuckled. One muttered, "Should have stayed in coach." Eleanor's eyes closed briefly. The coffee sting was nothing compared to the humiliation. James stood. "Get her a towel," he growled. Karen tossed a napkin. "There, all better." Eleanor dabbed at the stain, her voice low but piercing. "This isn't over." Later, Karen returned, not with apologies, but accusations. A wallet was missing, she claimed, pointing at James's bag, alleging she saw him take it. She urged the captain to make an announcement. The cabin buzzed with whispers and judgment. But Eleanor, unruffled, pulled out her phone, displaying a photo, Karen leaning over their bags during the coffee spill, her hand slipping something inside. She showed it to the captain. Moments later, he emerged. "There's been a misunderstanding. Please resume your flight." Karen's smirk vanished. At landing, police met them at the gate, another precaution Karen had insisted on. Eleanor presented the photo again, and their names were cleared. By the time they reached their hotel, a small crowd had gathered, some supportive, most skeptical. They hoped the ordeal was over. It wasn't. By morning, headlines screamed, "Elderly couple scams airline for first-class upgrade." Edward Crane, a senior VP at the airline, backed Karen, labeling them manipulators. Their luggage was lost, rerouted deliberately. Their next flight was downgraded. The system had been tampered with. Eleanor had enough. She called Lisa Carter, a trusted ally on the airline's board. Within hours, Lisa confirmed Edward had flagged their profiles, blacklisted them, and orchestrated a smear campaign via internal memos. Eleanor didn't just get angry, she got strategic. The next day, she held a press conference, releasing the photos and revealing that she and James weren't mere passengers, but co-owners of the airline. Her voice rang out on every network. "We built this company. No one takes that from us." Public opinion shifted swiftly. But at a gala 2 nights later, a gunshot shattered the air. Eleanor was hit in the shoulder, not fatal, but close. Security footage caught a man fleeing, the attack traced to an account linked to Edward Crane. He was arrested within 48 hours. Karen Mitchell, caught accessing internal systems, was charged with sabotage. Sophie, the gate agent who'd stayed silent initially, testified in Eleanor's favor. Yet Edward's allies on the board struck back. Lawsuits piled up, Eleanor and James's accounts were frozen, and they faced brief arrests for baseless embezzlement charges. The airline teetered on collapse amid PR disasters and corruption. But Eleanor persevered. With Lisa and a loyal team, she rebuilt, firing half the board, taking the company private, reopening routes, hiring new staff, and mandating training on bias, dignity, and respect. 1 year later, Eleanor stood before cameras again, James at her side, both steady and unbroken. "Justice," she declared, "is not handed to you. It's fought for." They had won. The airline thrived under their renewed leadership, a testament to their resilience. Eleanor and James Harris, once dismissed, now stood as unyielding symbols of triumph, their legacy etched into the company they'd built and reclaimed.